Welcome to GREYS, your one-stop shop to finding winners across Australia from the world of greyhound racing. Host David Shortte is joined by Hall of Famer Neil Brown, Jason Campbell to look at Queensland and Tasmanian chasing, Sean Matheson looking at South Australian chasing, New South Wales expert Simon Orchard, and the Shane Train Williams rounds it out with his key plays and kennel mail in WA. Now, over to the team for this week's edition of Great Greys.
Good morning and welcome along to Great Greys on this Thursday, the 22nd of May 2025. David Shortte with you. Hope you're travelling particularly well. Looking forward to finding you plenty of winners over the next hour here on the program. We'll catch up with the Shane Train Williams. We've also got Jason Campbell to talk us through chasing up there at the Q2 Parklands as well as Hobart for tonight. Ethan Christian will join us. He's got a couple of plays at Warrnambool as well as a big look at the program on Friday night at Sandown, and what an absolute ripper program it promises to be there. Of course, we have got the Sandown Cup. It's a tremendous staying affair, and there's a lovely quaddie carryover races 5 through to 8, and we will get a quaddie play from our man EC there. Sean Matheson will talk all things SA chasing. We'll round it out with a chat to Simon Orchard with everything going on in New South Wales in the world of greyhound racing. But let's welcome in the Shane Train Williams on this Thursday morning. Hello, Train.
Yeah, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, listeners. Actually, good timing, Shorty. Just was mopping some kennels, so good time to call and have a spell from mopping the kennels, mate.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, it's time for a little more fortune of the good note for your team this week. You didn't have much luck with draws last week, but things are looking up a little this time around.
Yeah, I sort of prepared myself for the worst, Shorty, last week. It was just horrible when I picked up the field sheet and seen the draws last week, and pretty much went to script. So, as they say, Shorty, you can go again next week. So in the Classic, so we can go again this week and hope for a bit better luck this week.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, note that you got a couple of newish sort of dogs into the setup. There was one went round last night that's got a bit of form over the longer trips. Yeah,
she's actually hurt herself out of that run last night, Shorty, so she'll be coming out on Saturday, unfortunately. But, we'll look for her when she comes back over a bit more distance. She's going to be a front-running stayer, I hope. So 500 metres didn't really suit her last night, and she come out with a little tiny issue there last night, so she'll be out Saturday.
All right, well, one to watch out for, though, heading forward there. We've got lots going on here locally. The Derby final on Saturday night out there at Cannington promises to be a cracking race. Having a look at the field and the market, so Echoes of Dad off box number 1 looks to get a lovely draw there with our Aussie Salute that likes to get up the track. There's been good support, Echoes of Dad. It's 420 to 320. Our Aussie Salute 11 to 12. Giacomo is 350 into 320. Incredible Rogue, it'll be hitting the line hard. It's an $8 chance. Ferndale Flyer 15 out to $17 was an excellent effort in the heat. Can You Bypass has been 12 to 15 in 6. Mylata in 7, 650 to 7. Likewise, it'll be hitting the line. And Junkyard Clyde, who was excellent winning its heat in sub 29.5, was a hot run there, running 29.47 to be the fastest qualifier. It's 460 into 440. We've been left with an excellent lineup for the Derby there on Saturday night, brought to us by Britain's Formal Wear. Yeah,
it's a wide open affair, Shorty. A couple of the short pots got beat, and that's opened it right up. Very impressed with Junkyard Clyde last week. I didn't know the dog had that sort of ability to run that sort of time, but it definitely got it right on the night last week, and probably out in 8. It did want to fan a bit wide around the first corner, so it's probably not that badly drawn in 8. But I thought, like pound for pound, the best dog in the race is Giacomo. He's come off the Mandurah Derby win, and then he defeated a classy free-for-all field the week before. He's probably just got to get that start right. He can't afford to miss it like he did in the heat. But I do want to throw one out there at odds, Shorty, and you mentioned it, Ferndale Fly. I've followed this dog all the way through. It's going to be no speed battle whatsoever early. He'll be up the back minding his own business. And if it did get messy on that first turn, you could watch him sort of get the good run through. He's very strong at the back end of his races. We've already seen him run the 600, and at $17, I reckon he's a real good each-way bet, and I'll be definitely having something on him. What do you like?
Yeah, I think you're right. I think Giacomo, for me, is just the dog that's probably been there and done it, and I often tend to revert to those sorts of dogs. It's winner 15 of 35, 10 placings. since coming to WA, it's had 4 starts and won 4. Winners win, and in big races, tend to gravitate towards those dogs that have done it. It does need to get the start right, but we did see this dog come out against a lot of our free-for-all ranks from this draw only 2 starts ago, running 29.71, beating Bezecchi. I thought that was a hot run. And the Mandurah Derby final was excellent. Of course, the very talented Iconic Jet eyeballed the dog for a fair portion of the race, and Giacomo was able to pull out plenty late and go on for a really strong win. So it's probably my starting point, to be honest. I do think that there's 2 really good Rover sort of style dogs in the race, and they are Ferndale Flyer and Incredible Rogue, who are both very, very strong chasers that have both run 600 metres. And as you allude to, while their draws aren't pretty, they won't be getting involved in any of that speed battle. And if the doors do open through that first corner, they're both very capable of getting the run through and then finishing the race off really hard. But I think you could pick almost any of the 8, to be honest, given the quality of the race. And it's a first full carryover of the race as well. So it's a nice race to maybe play some novelties, but it should be an absolute beauty. We've also got heats of the Oaks there on a Saturday night, and on Friday night down there at Mandurah, we've got a couple of heats of the Mandurah Distance Challenge. We've been served up to very, very short price favourites, and to all intents and purposes, they're both likely to win by pretty reasonable margins, you would have thought. Ironworks in the first of those heats, $1.16, and then Boracay Summer, who had no luck last time out there in a heat of the Sandown Cup. By all reports, just didn't have the best week while it was away from home, and that really saw it sort of fold up late in that race. That's not generally what we expect from Boracay Summer, and you can see it just rolling to the top here and running time. So they look the real standouts there in those Distance Challenge heats on Friday night.
Yeah, they certainly do. I think the track was quite heavy last week, so I'd take no notice of them times that were posted over the 600 last week. I think the track was pretty heavy there, especially that 638 or 648 or 650, whatever it is now. It's a grueling run. It's probably as hard as the 700. So on that nice and soft track, I think a couple of them dogs will improve on their times. And just back to Giacomo quickly, Shorty. You got to remember, even though it missed a kick in the heat of the Derby, it still managed to push through and win. And it's come out of races like the Geelong Cup in Melbourne, and it was in the Silver Chief final as well. I think it ran a place. I think it ran 3rd behind, epitomising the Silver Chief. So you're right, he's all class, and he'll be the one to beat.
It's probably worth remembering too that last week, going into the series, there were 3 dogs that were very, very prominent in pre-post betting, and they were Western Sydney, who was $3.20, and then it was Iconic Jet and Giacomo, who were both at $4. So they were a little way in front of the rest of the field. It's only one of the 3 pre-post dogs that's got through to the final. So you're now getting a pretty decent price, about a dog who was $4 to win the series, with an all-in market only going back to this time last week. So
and gets a good draw too. Gets a good draw as
absolutely.
well. It's not as if it's badly drawn. It's well drawn.
It's had 4 starts in WA, and 3 of those 3 performances have been from box 3, and it's won all of them. So holds no fears, the white rug for Giacomo, that is for sure and certain. But it's going to be a great race. Looking forward to it. It's a dog that has produced a handful of absolute superstars, and nearly every dog that's on the honour roll of this race have gone on to be real top-line sprinters. So I'm sure there will be one prevail there on Saturday night. We've got a pretty solid program of chasing to look forward to this evening there at Mandurah as well. Train looking to build a bit of a bank for the weekend of chasing that's upcoming. What's taken your eye tonight there at Mandurah?
Yeah, I thought it was a tricky card tonight, Shorty. It was quite a few open races and plenty of dogs with plenty of chances. But I'm going to kick it off, and you'll probably laugh at me, but I'm going to kick it off with a dog that's form read 7677. That's race 4, number 7, Ammunition. He's a very wide runner, and he's kept drawing the inside, and he just wants to get to the outside. So I think tonight from box 7, if he can get the start right, he'll have all the room in the world out wide to sort of wind up and go through his gears, and he gets that big long run to the first turn to sort of wind up. And like I said, he'll stay very wide, and he's got ability, this dog. We've seen him run 21.80 at Kennington, not 4 or 5 runs back, and I think the Mandurah circuit's right up his alley. He's only around about $3, so there's a few who have the same sort of opinion of this dog, but if he gets any room at all to muster out wide, I think he'll be hard to beat, Shorty. Race 4, number 7, Ammunition. All
right, looking to go bang, bang with Ammunition to kick things off. Race 4, number 7, the second of your plays?
Yeah, race 6, number 6, Cabin Crew, dog trained by Louis Clay. The kennel's going really well, and this guy's been racing really well as well. He's a runner-up last week in 27.40, which is, as we know, a very nippy run for this sort of grade. And a little bit of speed draw next door in 7 is my only concern. So we need him to step well and hold that dog out. And he does have a lethal record at the track and trip, this dog. Hard to beat. Race 6, number 6, Cabin Crew.
Race 6 and number 6, Cabin Crew. Train's had a bit of experience with the Cabin Crew too, given the amount of travel he's done throughout the course of his lifetime. And the third of your plays there, Train.
Well, we've got a scratching, Shorty. Race 12, we were tipping number 6, Wise Cracker. So I've gone back to the free-for-all race over the 300 metres. Race 7, number 3, Sunset Bubbles. This one's trained by Pete Brown. It's had some great clashes with dogs like Key Moment, and I think they'll have another good clash tonight. I think Key Moment might be able to lead, but I think Sunset Bubbles can get the camp and be too strong for him late. He's been a great old dog, Key Moment, and these dogs, they're just, these 300 metre dogs, it's a pleasure to watch them, the Shorty. They just get out and go, and sometimes they can't be caught. But I think tonight Sunset Bubbles just might be able to grab him late on in the piece. Race 7, number 3, Sunset Bubbles to finish us off.
All right, race 7, number 3, Sunset Bubbles. So in recap, race 4, number 7, Ammunition, race 6, number 6, Cabin Crew, race 7, number 3, Sunset Bubbles. They're not far away from jumping for the first here of the day at Goulburn, punters. Number 6, Zoe Frilling is our $2.10 favourite, in from 370. Broadcast Boogie 10 to 370. Face Off 550 to 460. Lord Vittori 6 to 480. Purple Rose has been 61 to 41, and Dancing Argenta 71 and firm at that quote. Zoe Frilling, the fave here for the first of the day at Goulburn. Beautifully done, Train. Appreciate your time as always here on Great Greys. Good luck with all your team over the weekend. Best from the kennel.
Oh, we'll be Iconic Jet for sure, Shorty. He'll hopefully bounce back, and if he can put something close towards that trial run that he done, we might be on a plane to Brisbane with him. Excellent.
All right, look forward to that. Good on you, Train. Have a ripper weekend.
All the best, punters.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Well, it's time to catch up with Jason Campbell. Have a look at chasing tonight up there in Queensland as well as down in Tasmania. Welcome to you, JC.
Hey, Shorty. How are you, mate?
Going very well indeed. Thank you, mate. Travelling nicely. How are you tracking over there in New South Wales? There's been plenty of rain around. You staying dry?
Oh, I wouldn't know about that, Shorty. I got a little bit of rain on me when I was trying to fill up the old car this morning, which was a bit disappointing, but I've washed off nicely, and hopefully can find a few winners for the punters tonight at the Q2 Parklands and Hobart.
Indeed. All right, well, let's get your thoughts tonight up there at the Q2 Parklands. Of course, we've had a couple of weeks of action now up there, and the dogs seem to be settling in nicely, and the industry are enjoying the new facility.
Yeah, for sure, and it's a big night of racing there. We've got 3 feature races over all starting boxes. I'm going to kick off in race 3, playing the 4 here. Cheers for Bella. I think she'll take great improvement out of last week's run, her first run over the 600 metres at the Q. She just bumped into the dog by the name of Journey, who found the arm, and is a very strong customer. So I think in this contest, at the very worst, she will settle second to Chill Pill Jill. Hopefully she leads her. If she does that, she'll be extremely hard to run down. I think Non-Stop Recall, he's a dog you can follow moving forward. He's a nice, young, progressive stayer. He might get over the 710 metres in time.
Very nice. So Cheers for Bella gets the nod there, race 3, number 4. And then we head down to race number 7.
Yeah, once again, number 2 here, Chatterbug, having her first start last week over this track and trip. She found a little bit of trouble early, but was able to overcome, a few dogs in front of her doing a few naughty things, and she won by upwards of 3 lengths in the end, 29.79, which seems to be a fair enough time over this distance thus far. I think she has speed to find the front here. As I mentioned, Journey last week was racing over 600 metres. Not sure he'll be able to match motors with her over the 520 metres, and I think she'll be terribly hard to run down. She's a bitch that we have seen go down to Victoria, so obviously the wraps on her are quite big, and she has run time at both Albion Park and now Q2 Parkland. So I think she could be a bit of a wild card coming up in the upcoming Queensland Winter Carnival.
Excellent. Race 7, number 2, Chatterbug, putting together an excellent career record, 15 starts, 6 wins and 3 placings. And off that really impressive win last week in 29 and 79. So we've got race 3, number 4, Cheers for Bella. Race 7, number 2, Chatterbug at the Q2 Parklands. What about down in Hobart tonight?
Yeah, got to kick off in race 3. I think this is a chance for us to back something at a price here. The 8th in this race, Winburn Sunny, he's desperate to get back to the fence here, and He's back to the 340 metres, drops a lot in distance there, and the 7 here, Rogue Danger, does want to use the track. So I have gone back to, basics here. I've tried to find the leader of the race, and I think it will be the 5, Awesome Chill. If you scrap her last 2 runs, she was able to lead up over the 461 metres 3 starts ago. I know she does drop back to the 340 also, but she does have a pretty fair record over this track and trip. She's had the 12 starts for the 3 wins and the 3 placings. And you only have to go back to the best part of 8 starts ago, where she did run second over this track and trip in around 1965, which isn't too bad a time. So I think at the price, she's a worthy spec in race 3, number 5, Awesome Chill.
All right, race 3, number 5, Awesome Chill gets the nod there. And race number 6 is your other play.
Yeah, number 7 here, Surveillance. He's a dog that returned to form last week. I thought he started off invested. She was absolutely humming on the bunny. She ran very, very fast for the first and second mark, and I didn't think he shirked the task. He kept chasing his guts out, and I think that's a sign of a dog that's going to be winning next start. And he lines up here tonight. He draws box 7. He doesn't have a great deal of speed drawn around him tonight. And the second favourite, Aeroplane Bernie, he's been terribly slow out of the boxes, and he's 3 runs back from a spell. So I think we can get the jump on him early, and we should be extremely hard to hold out late.
Up front, where we like to be, race 6, number 7, Surveillance at 2.45. And the first of those plays from our man, Jace Campbell, was at very juicy odds. Awesome Chill, $13 the win and $2.80 the place. So that would be very nice if we can land that. Race 3, number 5 tonight there at Hobart to go along with race 6, number 7, Surveillance. Magnificent catching up with you, JC, as always, here on Great Greys. All of our listeners that love your handiwork, what's the best way to follow it?
Just over on X, Campbell at Jason, at Jason Campbell, or however you want to find it. You'll find me somehow, some way. But I'll be dropping my previews for Hobart and Q2 Parkland tonight. Hopefully we can have a good night, and obviously very excited for the upcoming Queensland Winter Carnival. It's got to be a beauty. We saw Deadly Avenger last week run second in that Harrison Dawson. I'm sure he's got to go back up there to Tommy Savellis and look to win that title. And you got Flying Zulu also. He obviously took out that Harrison Dawson last week, and he'll be looking to defend his title at a new track after winning last year's edition at Albion Park off the Red.
Magnificent. As always, great catching up with you, JC. Have a wonderful weekend, mate. Look forward to our chat next week.
Thanks, Shorty. See you, mate.
There we have it. Jason Campbell with us here on A Great Greys, where it's now 22 minutes after 10 o'clock. Matty, we may well have the divvies there for the first of the day at Goulburn.
Won by face-off at $4.90 and $1.90. Lord Vittori, $2.40. No Div Purple Rose, $10.10 Quinella, $23.10 Exacta, $163.20 Trifecta, 4-1, 3-6 first 4, $307.90 with the sub 6 and 258. The scratchings from race number 1. The second in 26 minutes, the favourite currently $1.85 is Tact with Tab Touch, and race number 2 at 10 to 11.
This is your home of the Greyhound Good Oil, Great Greys.
And we're catching up with Ethan Christian with our Hall of Famer Neil Brown off having a wonderful time there in Canada. EC has very nicely stepped in to fill the void. We've got a big program tonight at Warrnambool, but tomorrow night is where it's all at, Sandown. An absolutely stunning program for Friday night to look forward to there for the punters to get involved with. Of course, Sandown Cup, always one of our favourite staying races on the calendar each and every year. There's a lovely quaddie carryover, races 5 through to 8, and just a stellar night of chasing. Welcome to you, Ethan. How do we find you today?
You find me very well, Shorty. It's a fantastic time for our club. We really look forward to this meeting every year. One of the premier staying races on the national card, the worldwide card, really. It's nice to have a standalone Friday night meeting where we'll hopefully be able to welcome a lot of punters out to the track and crown a new staying champion.
Indeed. Before that, though, we need to build a bank for the big program. We've got a big 13 racer tonight there at Warrnambool for the punters. You've got a couple for us tonight to hopefully get a few shekels together for the weekend of chasing upcoming.
Yeah, that's the plan. We'll kick things off in race 3 with number 2, Sumo Smash, who he also really saw a chance of holding out his rivals to the rails early, and I think that should be enough for him to go on with the job and win. So race 3, number 2, Sumo Smash is one of my best bets. And then the absolute best, comes in race 10, number 6, Rock It Queen. She's got the speed to cross and lead from that draw. And she's also got an empty box to her inside, so that's a massive positive. I'm not really sure how they're going to catch her if she finds the arm, and I think she will. So I think she might be a bit of a lock. So Warrnambool, the best bets are race 3, number 2, Sumo Smash, and race 10, number 6, Rocket Queen.
Very nice. Race 3, number 2, race 10, number 6. Now to Sandown and this big program. So much to look forward to. Lovely quaddie carryover as we've touched on. Let's start with the quaddie. First leg is race number 5, the Club Noble, a mixed grade 4 and 5 over the 515 metres.
Yeah, and look, number 7, Urana Xavier resumes from a spell, and he's a really strong type who will appreciate this smaller 6-dog field. So I'm going to take him on top, but alongside of Paul Bidds, who draws nicely down low, and here comes Jojo, who's a promising type who shows early speed. So going to run with 7, 2 and 8 in the first leg of the quaddie.
7, 2, 8, leg 1. Onto the second leg. It's a mixed grade 6 and 7 over the 515. The Morty Alex Super Rules FC, and this is an interesting race to have as the second leg of the quaddie, EC.
Yeah, it certainly is, but I think there's only a few select chances in it. Look, I think number 4, Select Kyron, strikes a very winnable race by his standards, and I think he can lead from start to finish here. Look, the 2, Utter Madness, can also challenge for the early lead, but apart from those 2, I don't really see much troubling the pair, so I'm going to take just 4 and 2 in the second leg.
All right, 4 and 2, leg 2. On to the third leg, race number 7. This is the feature, the Group 1 Sandown Cup final. Over the 715 metres, and the visitor from New South Wales, Lady Wilson, was most impressive for Sam Sultana last week there, dropping a 41.53.
Yeah, and look, it's hard to go past her based on that performance. She had to look at the track the week prior and backed up that really fast trial with a really nice heat win. So she cops a nice draw tomorrow night from the 2, and it's hard to go past her. So there's no reason she can't win again. Raiders Guide will keep her honest throughout, though, particularly early, and the Punga Surprise can feature from the low draw. So I'm going to take 2, 5 and 1 in the Group 1 Sandown Cup. But, yeah, Lady Wilson clear on top for me.
2, 5 and 1, Lady Wilson to get the job done. And the final leg of the quaddie tomorrow night there at Sandown, race number 8. This is over the 595 metres. How are we rounding out the quad?
Yeah, I think the outside brigade hold the key to this race with Michaela Swift, the 6th, leading the charge. She's got the obvious pace in the race, and I think she might have a bit of a class edge as well. Paul Quimby's a very strong type, and Warm Hugs can show early speed, so they can get thrown into the mix as well. But I'm pretty happy to on the side of Michaela Swift here, 6, 8, 7 to round out what's a relatively thin quaddie.
Alrighty, 7, 2, 8, leg 1, 4 and 2, leg 2, 2, 5 and 1, leg 3, home with 6, 8 and 7. That's $54 for a full unit, $5.40 will get you 10%. Play around with your flexes however you would like to there for that quaddie carryover on Friday night. Who are the best bets there on Friday night at Sandown, EC?
Yeah, look, it's a bit tricky to do without too many odds up just yet, but I think if you can secure $2 or better about these few runners, I think you'd be doing really, really well. So race 6, number 4, Select Kyron, race 9, number 1, Without a Trace, and race 12, number 1, Poor Fabian. I think they should all run really, really nice races. They should all lead them and be 2 strong. So if you can get evens about that lot, they will be the best plays.
Magnificent. Race 6 and number 4, a Select Chiron is where it all starts off. We then head to race number 9 and team up with the Red Rug Without a Trace and round it out again with box number 1 in race 12, number 1, Poor Fabian. Looks a good night for the punters there on Friday night at Sandown. 6, 4, 9, 1, 12, 1. The 3 BBs for our man Ethan Christian. EC, punters out there tuned in that would like to follow your handiwork and your tips, what's the best way to go about it?
Yeah, best way is to jump onto X or Twitter or whatever you'd like to refer to it as. Ethan's Greys. I post my rated markets for all Metro Melbourne Greyhound races every Thursday and Saturday. So certainly plenty of content up there and plenty of markets to get involved in.
Big style, yeah, and the spreadsheet's very easy to understand what EC puts together each week. He plays for the overs. You can have a look through his ratings for each and every Thursday and Saturday night card there across in Victoria. Love your work, EC. Thank you for your time as always, mate, and have a wonderful weekend. And finally, how are your Cats going to go tonight up against the Doggies?
Oh, it's a tough one. We've come up against them at the very, very wrong time where they've got their good players back and Bevo's got them absolutely firing. So, look, if we could play them anywhere in the world, we want to be playing them at GMHBA, so that gives us a sniff, and we'll just cross our fingers and hope for the best, I think.
Yeah, it should be a great game. Looking forward to that later on tonight. All the best to you, EC. Have a wonderful weekend.
Thank you, Shorty, and to you.
There we have it, Ethan Christian with the latest in Victorian chasing. Our next race for broadcast here on TAB Radio will be the second of the day at Goulburn. Maddie, it's only 19 minutes away, but again, this meeting's been pretty heavily affected by scratchings and a couple of scratchings out of the second.
And they are numbers 6 and 7. There's only one race, I think. Yep, the last race has the full complement of divs. It's paying on the first event, and in race number 2, second leg of the quaddy, Class 1, into $1.85, tacked into $4.40 for Johnny Smash. And out of point to 6 is Tokyo Queen. NTD, race number 2 at 10 to 11.
You are tuned into Shorty and the team on Great Greys.
And it's time to catch up with Sean Matheson to have a look at South Australian chasing over the next few days. Welcome to the program, Sean. How's everything going over there in SA?
Yeah, terrific. Thanks, David. Yeah, great to be on the show again with you. Really looking forward to the week and the weekend ahead for us. Obviously highlighted tonight, we've got the semi-finals of the Group 3 Howard Ashton, which is races 6 and 7 tonight. So that's certainly a really good series, and all heading to the Group 3 final next Thursday night. But yeah, there's certainly plenty of racing and hopefully plenty of winners. Indeed.
Yeah, it's a good card tonight. Looking forward to the program and getting your thoughts. Take us through who you're keen on this 12 racer.
Okay, so the first of the best bets will come up in race 3. It's number 8, Been Away Charm for Nicole Price. Been Away Charm last start from this box was able to show really good speed, lead them up, went quick to the back, and 31.04 is not overly quick, but she's a progressive type. She's around $3. Again, 6-dog field, box 8. I think she's got enough speed here to lead again. And I reflect back about 4 runs ago, she came out really fast in a 5.24, led up Sir Dodge. Her overall time was 30.88. If she can run anywhere near that or anything like last week, I think she'll be getting the job done. But the key for her would be nice to see her in front at the winning post on the first occasion.
All right, let's see if we can't get some early speed there with a Been Away Charm, race 3, number 8, the kick-off proceedings for Sean this evening. And with Tab Touch as it sits right now, $3 for Been Away Charm for Nicole Price. Second of your plays this evening at Angle Park there?
The second comes up in race 7, and this is the second semi-final of the Group 3 Howard Ashton. And again, it's number 8, Tara's Lily, in this event for Mark Delbridge. Obviously, Mark has been making the trip across the border with this series, had a couple of runs prior through, was a really good run in the heats last week from a wide draw, didn't have any luck at all, and was charging home at the end, beaten over 4 lengths, but the run sort of had flashing lights on her. I think from box 8 is not a perfect draw for her. She hasn't won from box 8, but she's been placed on 6 occasions from 8 goes. But there's really not a lot of speed around her, to be really honest, apart from the one dog, which looks the obvious leader and the odds-on favourite. Really, there's no real speed around her, and she does muster pretty quick. So I'd be hoping that she can actually land around maybe 3rd with a bit of luck out of the front straight. Just get ahead of some of those slower ones who are out. From there, David, I think she powers home at the end of her races, and I think she's definitely one to watch in the latter part of the event. But again, for her, if she can land a bit closer than normal, I think she'll be really hard to beat. She is $5, and that's not a bad price, I think.
All right, so a race 7, number 8, Tara's Lily's been racing pretty well across in Victoria as well. That effort from the pink 3 back behind Here Comes Jojo, who's been flying of late, was a really good run. So something like that again here would see Tara's Lily right in the mix. Race 7, number 8. And the third of your thoughts for tonight there at Angle Park, who do you like to round it out?
Okay, now in race 8, a little bit more of a value. This is, apart from the semi-finals, it's the open event of the night, and really a really, really good race, David. Plenty of chances in this, and there's plenty of speed. So I've looked at a dog that's probably going to hopefully get the right run, and that's going to be number 4, Daddy's Girl for Ben Rawlings. She's a dog that does like to get to the inside, and she's very powerful late, and she's an ex-WA dog, so you know her form. But she's been here for quite a bit of time. She stepped up to the 5.95 last week, got bumped really hard out of the front straight the first occasion, really disregard that run. She won 2 races back-to-back from an inside draw in high grade. Prior to that, just feel here that the kennelmate, Fear the Dragon, the one dog, he can actually show some speed, but he does like to get nice and wide on the first turn. So I think if he shows enough speed, he's going to put a lot of the front runners out of play. And I feel like Daddy's Girl's just going to lob into the rail spot, be nice and handy. And at the 8.50, I just see her charging late and definitely an each-way play. But with the right run, hopefully you can get the money for us.
Alrighty, so $8 and $2.15. We'll be rolling something each way on to Daddy's Girl. It's put together an excellent record. On the way through, picked up $160,000 in prize money now, this daughter of Tommy Shelby and Joker Poker. So she's certainly done an excellent job. Hopefully there's another win there for her tonight at the good price. So race 3, number 8, Binaway Charm. Race 7, number 8, Tara's Lily. And race 8, number 4, Daddy's Girl are the 3 plays for Sean tonight. They're at Angle Park. Also got Chasing Murray Bridge on Friday. The time-graded meeting at Angle Park on Saturday morning and Gawler on Sunday. Anything for the punters at those meetings, Sean?
Yeah, so I think we can look at Murray Bridge tomorrow in the first race over the staying trip of 680 metres. Number 4, Fantastic Helga for Liz Chegia. A winner there, 5 runs over the 680. She's probably she's certainly got the most experience over this distance at that venue. So I expect her, again, she's got plenty of ability. She should lob reasonably well in a very small field and, again, be very strong late. I said she loves the Murray Bridge 680, so I expect her to getting the job done tomorrow. The time-graded meeting, as you mentioned, David, on Saturday morning. Race 2, number 1, Yanko Boy for Jack Trengove. He has won in 2050 over the 342. It's not overly quick, but these time-graded races, a lot of the time the box draw does matter. So I think him off the inside, he's got pretty good form in a pretty average race. I think the 2 dog will give him plenty of room, so really hard to catch. And then at Gawler on Sunday, race 7, number 5, Bonavista for Kevin Bewley, drops back to the 400 metres after a couple of good runs over the 530 where he had showed really good speed. Was a winner 3 runs ago over the 400, 22.83, again showing really good speed. I expect him to do the same on Sunday, lead and win to round out the weekend for us.
Magnificent. So Murray Bridge Friday, race 1, number 4, Fantastic Helga. Angle Park Saturday, 2-1, Yanko Boy. And rounding it out at Gawler on Sunday, race 7, number 5, Bonavista. Beautifully done, Sean. Appreciate your time as always here on TAB Radio. Have a wonderful weekend and look forward to our chat next week.
Excellent, David. We'll talk then.
Beautiful. There we have it. Sean Matheson with the latest in South Australian greyhound racing. 12 minutes away from race number 2 here at Goulburn. Anything else to report, Matty?
The track is downgraded, retrospective to include race number 1. So it's now a heavy 9 at Goulburn. Race 1 now on a heavy 9. And in race number 2, which is only 11 away, $1.85. Tact is still the favourite. And in Leg 2 of the quad, he is the favourite on the tote as well. Saddlecloth 1.
You're listening to Great Greys on Tab Radio.
Well, it's 22 minutes away from 11 o'clock. We round out the program with a look at New South Wales greyhound racing, and the main man, Simon Orchard, joins us for a look at all things NSW chasing. Hello, Simon. How do we find you today?
G'day, Shorty. G'day, listeners. You find me, mate, absolutely surrounded by water up here in the Hunter Valley. We aren't the hardest hit. Taree, mate. All our thoughts go out to everyone up there, not just participants, but people in the Mid-North Coast region because, gee whiz, there's so much water around. Maitland was cancelled on Monday. Taree, of course, cancelled Wednesday. Richmond Straight cancelled today. If there's anyone in need, give us a bell. GRNSW hopefully can help maybe with some relocation of animals if possible, but at the moment, mate, it is just raining and raining and raining, and there's no real end in sight. So hopefully people stay safe over the next couple of days.
Yeah, absolutely. We're sending out our thoughts to everybody in the industry over there, and take Simon up on it if you're tuned in and you need some help relocating some dogs in New South Wales over the next little bit while this flooding's in play. Get in contact with the team, and I know that they've been very, very proactive in putting their hand up and saying, get in contact and we'll find some space for your dogs to look after for the next little patch. Of course, it's auction weekend too, if I'm not mistaken.
No, you're spot on, mate. Sunday, so all roads to the auction are still hopefully going ahead. It is undercover at Richmond on Sunday, and I've just had a look at the weather. It does say Saturday, a bit of sunshine in the region, so hopefully it finds up. But, mate, 169 lots from all over the place. We've got Bernardo with 11 different litters represented. Tommy Shelby, of course, the famous WA Chase, is, I think, the next most represented with 10 lots. You've got your Feral Frankies, Fernando Bale, Shimmer Shine Senekis, Whiskey Wrights. The list goes on and on, mate. Spoke to Frankie Hurst this morning about some good odds cash pups. And this is the point of conjecture, mate. I'm interested in your thoughts. A lot of these auctions, you get, I'm not going to say naysayers, just people with opinions online saying, well, what's it matter? People are just going to buy them back and then go in the race series. Frankie Hurst last year sold some pups out of good odds cash, and he's determined again to sell. He's a seller, him and Tracy. They're not guaranteeing it, of course, but they want to move these pups on. They want people to get into the industry, and you could be owning a good odds cash pup come Sunday. But what are your thoughts, mate, on the buybacks and a little bit of negative stigma around that at times? Yeah,
look, it's challenging, isn't it? Because there are some people over the journey that have just literally put the dogs in and bought back, and they're the ones that do cop the criticism. But that doesn't speak for everybody that does that. And I think most people play the game fairly, put some dogs in, and I think the auctions that I've attended over the years, certainly we've always gone home with a couple of dogs out of the auction, and we've had a little bit of success with one of them going back a number of years ago. So, yeah, look, I'm all for it. I think it's something a little bit different. I'll never have a crack at any jurisdiction that are trying things. And to the credit of Greyhound Racing New South Wales and all the team there, I love the fact that you're continuing on with this. You're giving new people into the sport an opportunity to get involved with some pups and start at the bottom end, and you can follow them. One thing I will say, you fall in love with them pretty quickly when you go and see them as puppies, and then you get the chance to follow them right the way through their education and then into their racing careers. So good luck to everyone getting involved, and everybody that would like to be online and potentially bidding on the weekend. Simon, what's the best way for people to get involved?
Yeah, good question, mate. Head to thedogs.com.au. You can find the auction tab there, and Brad Adam, he's our man organising everything. If not Brad, you might end up getting through to me, and we can take phone bids on the day. So last year, Mick Cowley was the man on the phone for us, and it was running hot throughout. You can't bid online. We did investigate that, but maybe next year that'll be a potential option for people. But if you want to bid over the phone or get someone else to bid for you, head to thedogs.com.au. And the auction catalogue, Dave Brash has done a power of work, mate. Every single lot has a Rolodex of information all about the sire, the dam, the breeding hierarchy, of course, going back through the years as well. So it's all there, mate, thedogs.com.au. And or you go all the way from a good odds cash pup who probably will command the biggest price. There's other lots out of a bitch by Coco Model, for example. I spoke to Tate Corliss this morning, 5 pups. He's very eager to sell. She was a Group 1 place getter. She ran in races like the Paws of Thunder final, the Richmond Oaks final. You've got Scramjet represented, who won the Collison a couple of years ago. You've got Shane Stiff and 3 bitches from out there in the keeping line who, of course, have wonderful bloodlines as well. Feral Frankie's got a host, mate. He's probably one of the best performed sires so far this year. So there really is something for everyone. But jump on thedogs.com.au. 8 a.m. viewing kicks off on Sunday, and then we steamroll through to about 9:30. I think things will get underway. And I'll just give you a quick tip. I think I mentioned it last week, but Dave Brash reckons the Tommy Shelby Yuko girls are if you don't quite have the absolute top end, they're still going to go for a bit, because Yuko girl was a group level performer with great early pace. So there's 5 of them up for offer as well. Not only are you looking for a good race dog, mate, you could find a brood bitch that could get you through the next 10 years of racing, and that's what a lot of people might be hoping for come Sunday.
Absolutely, yeah. She did have wonderful early acceleration. She was a hot bitch, Yuko girl. So, yeah, and Tommy's taking all before him. So that does look to be a very nice matchup. Okay, Simon, if we're going to get involved and put a hand up, we're going to need a few bucks into the wallet. So let's see what you can do for us around the grounds in New South Wales chasing over the next few days.
Yeah, this afternoon, look, stick to the dog socials, Casino. But at the moment, all these meetings are on. But Casino... Race 12, number 7, Hooked on Lies, rising star, Shorty up there, who loves Casino. 5 starts, 4 wins, and a minor at the track and trip for Charlie Northfield. Her win last week was spectacular. Go and have a look at the replay. Hooked on Lies. She came from absolutely nowhere, which is hard to do on the circle. The only issue, Shorty, she's got some tricks up her sleeve. I'm backing Charlie to have her right, and with room to move, watch her fly if she gets even luck. So 12-7, Hooked on Lies this afternoon at Casino. Wenty Park tonight, race 4, number 4, Zipping Kirk. There's not much speed in this race at all. The dog in the 1, I think, will lead, but it cannot, well, in my opinion, cannot run out a strong 5:20. So Zipping Kirk, a dog who was really good on Monday night at Nowra, ran 29.67, backing up off a 3-day break. He's done it before, and he has won off a short break. So I'm hoping that Courtney Barnes and Minnie Finn know what they're doing. They probably do. So Zipping Kirk, the best bet at Wenty Park tonight. Dapto, finding it hard on Thursdays to find a good tip over with so many 300-metre races. But race 9, number 2, Ruby's Dream, who's coming back off a couple of months away from the track, boxed well, hopefully fresh is best. Race 9, number 2, Ruby's Dream. And if you want to have a play on Saturday night, there's a good race, race 7 at Wenty Park. It's a Mark Hughes Foundation race, and it's a great partnership that we continue to promote. But I like... My Munro from the inside, race 7, number 1. Sue Smith and Johnny Miles have a great breed who have produced many dogs that go really quick early. My Munro is no exception. We're talking 540s to the first mark. There is a lot of speed in the race, but I'm hoping My Munro, with the courtesy of the rails draw, and maybe at a price when markets come out, can be your best bet on Saturday night at Wenty Park, race 7, number 1. And just a quick shout-out before I go, mate. Heats of the Broken Hill Cup on Sunday, and some really good ones. Some great trainers represented. Bunch of trainers continue to travel, so keep your eyes on the dog's socials for the Broken Hill Cup heats as well, mate.
Broken Hill Cup there on Sunday. Get around that, punters, and don't forget, head to thedogs.com.au for the big auction there on Sunday. Can't wait for that, and looking forward to an update on how it all goes next week when we speak again, Simon. Appreciate your time, mate. Good luck to yourself and all the team. Like I said, I love clubs and jurisdictions that really show initiative and get out and try some different things. I hope that the auction's a huge success for you, mate. Have a ripper weekend, and look forward to our chat next week.
Yeah, all streamed on thedogs.com.au. So if you don't want to bid, make sure you jump on and see what other people are throwing their money at. Good on you, mate. Hooroo.
All the best. There we have it. Simon Orchard to round out the program for today. Casino race 12, number 7, Hooked on Lies. Wentworth Park race 4, number 4, Zipping Kirk. Dapto race 9, number 2, Ruby's Dream. That's for tonight. Then on Saturday night, Wentworth Park race 7, number 1, My Munro. The thoughts of our man there, Simon Orchard. And that is today's program done and dusted. If you missed those tips on the way through, I will be posting them up onto social media a little bit later on this afternoon, and you can see them there. I'll also be back tomorrow morning with Digby and Tim from around about 6:40 with our Friday Funny and an update on everything going on with Tab Touch over the weekend before teaming up with Jesse Earnshaw and Peter O'Neill with Chasing Winners between 9 and 10 o'clock tomorrow morning right here on TAB Radio. Until then, many winners to you all, and thank you for your company, and a huge thanks to the man, Matty McDermott, who does a wonderful job each and every Thursday putting it all together. Thank you, Matty. Look forward to seeing you in there tomorrow morning.
What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.